The Section 14 designates that people are allowed to arrest people just for standing here. Right here, right now, there are way more people than could possibly be carried off by the police to dissipate this gathering. And there's music here which makes people want to stay here because it's actually a really fun party. So the dynamic right now is if people start to leave, it's going to get easier for the cops to carry out the remaining people, and then this whole thing is cleared. It's actually, there's more people here than when they started nicking people, probably twice as many. So I think everyone's taking their own decision if they're willing to risk arrest, and it seems like they kind of all are. Yeah, I have to say the police have been pretty communicative, and compared with a lot of demos I've been on, have been relatively light touch, so I'd like to believe that's going to transfer to the sort of post-arrest process, but it's impossible to know. I mean, the sort of vanguard of the environmental movement is not, let's say, emanating from the ghetto. It's traditionally been a pretty white middle class movement, and when people don't know each other, it's hard to break that down. Extinction Rebellion's put diversity at the very heart of its sort of ethos. But it's still difficult. You can say you want to do something, but if you don't know people or they don't want to come, how do you break it down? So we've been doing a lot of effort at creating diverse programming, which has involved making a lot of phone calls, asking a lot of people to come down. Some people have, some people haven't. And we took a kind of off-the-cuff decision to get this New York rap act from Hackney. It's like totally not the kind of person synonymous with this movement, and they got up on the stage like 15 minutes after they asked, and to me that engages them in what this is about, and it's sort of baby steps, you know. So I think the movement wants to be more diverse. It's about having the courage to do that, having the patience to kind of go the long way round sometimes, because when you get new people into it, they don't necessarily think or speak or act in the same way as people are used to. It can make people uncomfortable, so I think there's challenges in trying to create it. So I have hope that these actions create solidarity and it broadens the base of the movement. There's a difference between like communicating and collaborating with the police, and I think what this movement's been really good at doing is communicating what's going on. So at that point, I think what I've noticed is the processes to try and close it down have actually been quite gentle. So I would imagine that there will be at some point an option going, you either move the boat and the sound system, or we'll do it for you and we'll impound it. The organisers have put all of this kit here on the understanding that there's a risk that they could lose it. So there'll probably be a point at which, if they feel holding the space is no longer likely, maybe an exit plan. I mean, I'm not really involved in those conversations, but that is kind of the dynamic. There's a good chance that there will be a number of people arrested in cautions after a few hours inside. They'll be let out with the caution, and at the right moment they decide, okay, we're going to take the boat away ourselves, and they're allowed to. Or the police can decide, no, you don't get all this for free, we'll take the boat, we'll take the system. But you can't tell now, really.
Speak for itself. Are you intimidated by the police at all?
Yeah, I'm really scared.
What do you think they're going to do?
They're going to arrest me.
I've seen them take a lot of people your age away today.
It's that middle-aged woman thing.
You okay?
I'm standing firm, but I am frightened. But I think there are more important things at stake here right now.
I'm scared of the police, they're just doing their job.
And how long do you plan to be here?
Well, I've booked 2 weeks off work, so I'm going to be here until they take me away.
And why are you in a suit?
I never normally wear a suit for my work. I'm a university professor, I don't need to wear a tie. But I've worn a suit because I want to tell people that we are about respect and we are respectable. And we are not yobs, we are not eco-rabble. We're normal people who care very deeply about the future of the Earth.
Yeah, we've been trying on the mic as much as possible, like at regular intervals, both to explain that this is a process about climate change and that this is an exercise in holding a space to cause disruption. We're doing that by having a party, but we're also regularly having speakers. We've had a people's assembly here every day. So I think, to me, I mean, I started off kind of doing free parties as a political gesture, and then I started working in events a lot. And to me, this is sort of the reason I got involved in all of that in the first place. I was an activist before I was a promoter or a producer, and this puts everything together. It's literally by being here, having a good time, people are involved in a rebellious or revolutionary act. And for me, that's really inspiring because that's a really good way to get people involved. It's a pleasure being here right now. It's making people happy. So my observation is that this is a really good example of the power of music to bring about change. And that's what's inspired me the most about being involved in it. That and the diversity of the programming. You know, we've had young kids, you know, we've had youth here, we've had older people, you know, a real spectrum. And yeah, I don't know, for me that's a model of change. Movements get profiled by the police, and actually historically this movement was very negatively profiled by the police. Yeah. This started out in the 90s with the rave movement, with the road protest movement, with the free festival movement and the original green gatherings. They were policed very heavily. People were prosecuted to the full extent of the law. There were undercover police embedded in all of those movements and agents provocateurs. That has changed. I don't know exactly how or why, because actually a lot of the same faces and people are being involved. I think probably there's a bigger extent to which the lack of corporate damage in this movement means that police can afford to take a light touch. They won't get in trouble later because loads of shops got smashed up. So in a way it's sort of like, whilst there is a political point to be made by damage to property, especially if that property has been sort of gained in an ill-gotten sort of a way, actually for the movement it kind of stops it flourishing. So yeah, the profile for this movement's changed over the 20 years that I've been involved in protest and parties and things, and it's sort of seen now as harmless. Maybe that's the issue as well. Maybe climate change is such an undeniable fact that it doesn't make sense to victimise people who are trying to get the right message out there. I mean, I think we live in a country with a very sophisticated set of pressure release valves, decisions of when to contain and when to allow. And I think that's why we haven't had revolutions in this country. And I think with sort of this is partly an illustration of that sophistication. It's a sort of like decision of what's the best return when it all ends out. And the best return is not to make headlines that the police are shutting down the climate change movement, because that will make the state very unpopular. So we're sort of existing in this sort of a bubble of sort of permissiveness that I personally haven't experienced. And it's pretty banging, as you can see.
You've been here for?
Okay, from the beginning.
And how long do you intend on staying?
2 days.
And anything that scares you? Anything? Are you worried about the police? Are you worried about getting arrested? What would your reaction to being arrested be?
Know my rights.
Anything you want to tell me?
Yeah, okay, so we're here because neoliberal corporate capitalism is very good at giving luxury goods to wealthy people, or even lots of wealthy people in this culture here. But it's leaving behind vast swathes of people around the planet, and it is destroying the biosphere of this planet. on which we all depend. So, the system isn't fit for purpose anymore. They've had 30 years to do something and nothing has happened. It's got worse. So, the system, the people in the system cannot change it. They've tried, they've not been able to do anything. It needs to change, and we are in the process of changing it.